Who's
Yeah,
that?
man. So band-maid played a couple shows at the Hammerstein Ballroom and they opened up for what's that band called? The Last Rock Stars, right?
Yeah, they're the last rock stars.
Yeah, and first show they opened up they had four songs, like a 16-minute set, which this is a bit of an issue. People um I was kind of like, what the hell, man? That seems like a short thing to
Wait, it
opener.
was only 15 minutes?
Personally, I never been to a concert where yeah, dude. So my personally, I've never been to a concert where the opener got 15 minutes.
Me neither.
So I know there's people that have. I'm not saying that's an impossible thing. I'm just saying I never experienced that, and I thought it was borderline insulting. But am I happy they did it? Yes. Do I think the Last Rock Stars are good for having them on tour? Yes. The second show they did five songs, and they kicked off with Real Existence, which is freaking what a banger, dude. What a way to kick off an opening set, right?
So
But Miku's amp had some issues, and I think she went out. I think was it during No God? Her amp
um
kind of went out, and
yeah, they're
she
seeing
just didn't play guitar the rest of the time.
one of the shows they had some issues going on, and it was with the amp. Shout out to Peter for posting this in Discord. He said, unfortunately, there seems to be some problem with Miku's amp or foot pedal, but they still managed to complete the performance professionally.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised, how important her rhythm is when it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It I thought it sounded fine, like with what Konami is doing, because she usually does it something different than the riff you're used to hearing, but it still sounded great, and she just did her vocals, and it was just awesome.
One of the
So
shows
it's
they
cool,
did
man.
five
And they
songs, right?
after the set,
Go
yeah, I
ahead,
said
sir.
that.
Oh,
The
okay.
second show they did five songs. And then Last Rockstars brought him back out to say farewell to New York. So they called him back out on stage and they got to celebrate together. You see him there on the video. It's really cool. So, hats off to them for bringing him up and showing him some uh some great respect, and it's just a cool thing to see. There's
My
some fan cams out there. Some people have the whole show on there, from not the whole show, but the opening for band-maid, and you can see the crowd kind of, when Misa steps up on her riser or Konami does, they really get excited and the song's done. So it's really good reception for the band.
Going back to what you said though about the whole like 15 minutes, it's like my only thing is like if you're traveling all the way from Japan to like do 15 minutes on stage, that would really annoy the hell out of me. I don't I mean that's
Yeah,
good on them for taking that in a
they're never going to say
positive
anything
light.
bad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they're going to do is the best they can with what they have, and that's all I ever expect from them. They're never gonna.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're grateful just to have the opportunity, But I just thought it was weird for that big of a show. You know what I mean? To have
Yeah.
a short opener, but I don't. I think they use their time wisely.
I,
I would
I
like to see Manners. I think that would have been a really good song. Go ahead.
I have a couple questions about this. So, does anybody, do either of you know how long the last Rockstar set was?
I was just about to ask that. If we how long did they play for? They play for 2 hours, an hour.
And were there any other bands with them?
It was over an hour.
Yeah.
Was
No,
it just band-maid with them?
It was just band-maid.
All right.
just
Well,
band-maid.
so just band-maid, they played over an hour, and band-maid only got four songs. That's what we're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. Then
that's dirty.
extended
That's
it.
dirty to me.
They got five the next night.
That's still dirty to me. I've seen a lot of shows that the opening act only gets, the 15 to 20-minute set, and pretty much every time that I've seen one of those shows, which is dozens and dozens of times, I had no idea who that opening act was. And it would usually be a local band at a local show,
Mm-hmm.
opening up for a bigger band that had traveled to that area. And I totally get that when you do that. But like Alan said, traveling all the way from Japan to do an opening show, to be an opening act and only get to play 15 minutes as a band that people already know, while there's only one other band up there with you and they're going to play for over an hour, that's dirty. I don't care what anybody says. Dirty. Don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
now the
go
shows are
ahead.
sold out. The shows are sold out before Band-Aid is even on the bill.
True.
I mean, it's not like they were the they were trying to use them as a draw. Um, I think it was really just a kind thing they were doing to bring him along, but you know, like I said, they're going to be nothing but happy to do it, and they're going to gain fans. They're playing to a crowd of mostly women, which is something they don't usually do.
I think that's really important.
Apparently, I'm cutting out. Probably can't
you're
understand shit.
Yeah, you were cutting it out a lot. I'm sorry, Ryan. Yeah, that's why I was like, sometimes I can hear what you're saying, and sometimes I can't. But I was just gonna say the last thing we heard, we were saying that's really good that they played to a lot of new female fans, which I think is really important because whenever I showed my daughter and other people that my female friends, they loved them when I showed it to them. Actually, they liked it more than my male friends, more so, which is kind of shocking and weird how that's happening, like with the audience targeting. I wonder how that happened in the beginning, where it was just like, did they target men just mainly in the beginning, or was it just happened to be that way? You know?
I don't think so. I think just the music they played appealed to older men who like classic rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
gotta say, a lot of the chats here is saying, "Hey, well, you know what? Like, it was either this or nothing." And
True.
to that I say, well, this is better than nothing. And I also respond by saying, it could have been 30 minutes, and nobody would have stopped anything. Nobody would have cried. There wouldn't have been a huge change in what they needed to do. It very easily could have been. So I don't want to like sit here and be like, "Oh, last rock stars were giving charity to band-maid." No, like no, I don't.
I was expecting 30 minutes, honestly. Normally it is 30 minutes because whenever I've opened up for bigger bands, like when I opened up for Mushroom Head, it was 30 minutes, and we were just a local band that had some pull there, but it wasn't even that much, or even for the Chevelle show, it was 30 minutes. So always was 30 minutes. So that's why it's so weird that was only 15 minutes in my head. Like, I'm like, that is odd, but I could be biased because this is just in the US,
Yeah. Dead Ben in the chat says Peter on Made News Network read a statement saying someone associated with the tour. The statement from them said it sounded like Band-Maid knew what they were signing up for. If that's the case, fine, man.
Well, that's good.
Still doesn't mean. I mean, are you really? If you're a fan of Band-Maid, are you really going to be like, well, I'm glad they only got 4 songs. You didn't want to see more.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it wasn't a good opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it wasn't a good opportunity. I'm super glad they were able to do it. I'm just saying it would have been cool to see more.
No,
doesn't mean I'm being a whiny fucking Band-Maid fan or something. I just want to see more Band-Maid.
Yeah. Well, this is a good point, Ryan, that you're saying like they knew ahead of time, because there's been situations where I've been in and I've showed up. I thought I was going to get an hour, and they were like, nope, it's only 30 minutes, cut down to 25 minutes sometimes. So they could have done that, I guess. It could have been worse in that situation. But I'm still happy for them opening for them, because they are going to get more fans, period.
Oh, hell yeah.
Period, no matter what.
A lot of people are saying that the venue would not allow them to extend the time, and therefore they were basically just sticking Band-Maid in there in the beginning to just get whatever we could get. And I guess that is a thing. Sure. A 15-minute set to me is just, I'm sorry, but like a 15-minute set to me, every time I've seen one, like I said, it has been reserved for a local band that nobody knows. So, I mean, I'm sure that there are logistical issues that come into play that I'm not privy of, but just from a perspective of my experiences going to shows, like I've never seen a band that can sell out an 8,000 person arena.
Oh, you know what?
Open at a 15-minute set. I've just not seen that before.
Eric just reminded me of something. They played for 15 minutes though. So maybe they actually had a 25-minute time slot, and that's including setup and breakdown. So the actual play was 15 minutes. That makes more sense. I just thought about that. Eric kind of reminded me when whatever message he put in, he had no time for nothing. I'm like, they probably did have 30 minutes, but it was like, all right, got to set up, the 5 minutes to set up, and then you play 5 minutes breakdown. Because that's happened. I've seen that also. That could have been it. Because it doesn't include, because I'm sure they include a setup and breakdown time. I bet you they did have 30 minutes, but it was like, they spent some of the time setting up, make sure everything's right, and then got on. You know what I mean?
I guess. You can't set up before the show starts.
Yeah, they set up
if you're the first band.
But then you got breakdown time. That's true. It's still break because they're set up in front of the bands. They had all their amps in front, so you still have to take into account of them taking all that away, taking those out of the boards. I mean, I'm sure there's a big quality venue. I know they have the means to make sure that goes smoothly, but you'd be surprised how many.
Glenn, we're breathing, buddy. Nobody here is like freaking out. So like, let's not take that as us freaking out about something. We're just taking a look at what happened. We're discussing it, and ultimately, if it had to be this way, it had to be this way.
Did you not want to see more?
Yeah, but I am.
I mean, who wanted to see just 4 songs?
Yeah,
Nobody.
I think it's okay to be disappointed that they traveled all the way from Japan to play a 15-minute set. You know, I think that is well within our, you know, it's justified. I think.
Yeah.
And again, we're not like sitting here screaming or yelling about it. It's not like we're gonna like go home and cry about it. But
Dude,
you know,
if
it's a really short set.
If they didn't allow more time for them, the venue didn't allow more time, and they cut time out of what they were going to do to allow them to play, that's fucking great, man. That's fine. And they gave him another song. They brought him back out the next night. So I think they're aware of what people may like, you know, maybe they're like, that wasn't really enough time to get into them, you know? So obviously they knew if they were totally cool with it, wouldn't have changed anything, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they're aware of the situation.
Yeah, I actually appreciate them making that adjustment on night 2.
Dude.
I think that's a big move on their part.
Dude, if we know they love the band, if they didn't, they wouldn't even have, they didn't need to bring him out. They already had the show sold out.
Glenner said that he meant people in general are pretty angry about it, which I hope they don't voice it too much on the public. I mean, side because that just puts a negative. I don't want negative fan like kind of stuff like that because it's positive. It's a positive thing. We don't want to turn a positive thing into a negative thing. I think what Glenner is talking about, or like people just going off. I haven't seen these comments. I haven't read them. I'm not aware of them.
There's some people on Facebook fan things that are like just talking shit about the last rock stars, and they hate them. No, they don't hate them. They brought them along, dude. They obviously like the band.
Mm-hmm.
We know they like the band. We know they have a relationship with Yoshiki.
Yeah, and they could have brought any other band. They could have brought anybody with them. It's not like they were like, oh, we have to take band-maid. No, they chose band-maid.
Because if I'm being honest, if I'm in Japan, right, and I have a band and I get this offer and they told me I'm only playing for 10 minutes, I would probably do it.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm being honest, like I would do it. It sucks, but I'm like, I'm like, well, this is like paid exposure at this point. I don't care. Let's buy this flight and get over there.
Yeah, somebody said, you want to come jam in Japan open for me? You're like, fuck yeah, dude. I'll play one song.
For more Gaijin goodies like you just saw, be sure to subscribe to the Gaijin Guys podcast and turn on all notifications to be part of the live stream every Sunday. You can also find us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, etc. You can find even more exclusive content and reactions on our Patreon, patreon.com/Gaijin Guys. I'll see you there. Adios.